Welcome to Opinions Like A-Holes, everybody, your favorite pop culture podcast where we have opinions and most of them stink. My name is Michael Zampino. With me, as always, is Hilton Price.
And I come to you with a revelation this week.
Okay.
Not a good one.
Chapter verse?
Not a pretty much. Pretty much. I don't have either of those.
Okay.
But this could go in the book. This could have a chapter and verse. This could say, and lo, it became clear unto Hilton. And what became clear, and I'm warning you, it's a bummer.
Okay.
It's a bummer. And what prompted this was I've noticed the growing problem with homelessness in our community here in Oklahoma.
Okay, with the unhoused, yes.
It is increased a lot.
Yes.
Partially due to economic turmoil, partially due to further spiraling mental health issues that go untreated in our community, and of course, the scourge of addiction. And here's the deal. I don't think our leaders, our governmental representatives want to clean it up.
I agree.
And they don't want to, because for all of us who are currently housed, and we all know how fragile that is. Many people, one or two missed paychecks away from potentially homelessness. They want to remind us to keep fucking playing the game. They want to remind us that screw up and this could be you.
Oh, yeah.
It's a fear tactic.
Yep.
And I don't know that it's necessarily cognition. I don't know that they're all aware they're doing it. I don't think Mayor G.T. Bynum wakes up and goes, going to not solve that homeless problem and keep everyone in line.
Well,
I don't think he thinks that out loud to himself.
Maybe not that exactly, but he's not, he's not trying to get fewer gun and liquor stores out of the poor areas and put in grocery stores and libraries and things like that. If you ever notice city planning, you don't have a lot of gun stores and liquor stores in South Tulsa and Bixby and
We
Jenks.
don't. Yeah, we don't.
No, you don't. It's purposeful.
I miss South Tulsa, and we don't see him out there. Our guest this week, did you say you're out in Broken Arrow area?
I am in the Broken Arrow area.
Do you see a lot of that out there?
No, we see every now and again. There's like 2 or 3 people that sit at certain, lights and try to collect some money. But for the most part, it's almost like they shoo out all the homeless people.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it out there in Broken Arrow.
Well, and they purposefully do that bullshit city planning type shit so that those areas are more heavily concentrated with that type of people because that their situations are perpetuated by their surroundings.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Should announce our guest this week?
Yes, Jacob Hatfield, everybody. Welcome back. It's been a long time.
It's been a very long time.
Yeah.
I think it was pre-pandemic.
We have nicer stuff now.
Yeah, much nicer stuff. No, you guys actually have a great setup. This is amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, we've replaced like 95% of Hilton.
Yes, I'm in debt.
Jacob, of course, comedian, filmmaker, raconteur. I don't know. And lately, really leaning back into everything. You've been telling me how you've been getting back more into stand up, but also getting back into your work behind the camera. Bringing back the CSE documentary series.
Yes, sir. The mini doc series, CSE.
Which I gotta say, just from the start, it looks fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
Every episode, brilliantly shot, very well edited. You super know what you're doing, and it shows.
That's the funny thing. I have no fucking idea what I'm doing.
Well, then you have an eye for it.
Thank you.
Yes, I feel that's sort of how I am with design. Like I do a little bit of graphic design, and I've had no formal training, and so I very much do feel like I don't know what I'm doing, but I constantly am being told like, "Oh, that's really good work. That's really good work.
Yeah.
You have an eye for it."
See, the thing is, like, I love that people like it, and I really love that, like you said, people think that I know what I'm doing, and every now and again, I'll ask a question that I find out is basic. Like,
I see. Yeah.
It's one of those things where when I first started, I found out that I lucked out with a cinematic frame rate is usually 24 frames a second. And I had no fucking idea.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I just lucked out that I had it set to 24 frames a second.
Okay.
So I have very much been failing upwards, but I appreciate that people
love
like
that.
it.
I love that.
And certain elements probably that lean to your design mind. have probably been boosted by the kind of content you consume, because you're someone I've seen who goes after film that is exemplary for unique methods of storytelling, for
And
strength
cinematography.
exactly, and editing. So you submerge yourself in the kind of content that leads to the creation of powerful, potent work, I think.
Well, I mean, I really appreciate that. Like I said, I really wish that I was much more knowledgeable about these things.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. I do.
There's always an urge to have more of a formal learning, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, I watched like tutorials. I got I had a job for a little bit editing wedding videos, which turned out to be a nightmare, but I did take it as a learning experience. And
Sure.
you know, you kind of pick things up as you go, and you get better and better and better, and you learn from your mistakes. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I really appreciate those kind words. Thank you guys.
I mean, I went from learning how to cut faces out of stuff so that I could make dumb posters for us, to gradually making like videos and. I mean, I say that not videos I'm shooting, but you know, putting together videos with created stuff, and like making ad designs for products and things that I'm getting paid for. And I'm like, wow, how far we've come from putting someone's face on a fucking police academy poster or some shit.
Yeah.
I was about to say, no, this for me, it started because I won a GoPro and I wanted to test it out.
Oh, nice.
I had a friend, Alexi Hill, come over to my house, and I attached the GoPro to the neck of the guitar.
Yeah.
And he played a song, and I had iMovie, and I was nothing but bored. And we just kind of talked like friends.
Yeah.
And people ended up liking the video, and they liked what I did. So I'm like, let's see if I can transfer what felt like a candid conversation between friends to other people that I don't know.
And that's podcasting.
Yes, very, very much so.
Yeah.
I was about to say, you guys definitely do lean more towards the audio side of it, and I lean more towards the visual side of it.
For sure.
But that's just because that's where my strength is. As far as audio editing and sound design goes, that's something I'm still very much learning.
Yeah. We just stick to the audio because mostly because I don't want to look at my face.
Yeah, I've seen Me Too Much, and I know the kind of loathing that comes with that. So I don't want others to feel that kind of loathing that comes with seeing my face too much.
You got a face for radio, kid.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
that's also one of the reasons why I'm not on camera.
Yeah. See, I feel you. I feel that.
I tell people that it's because the focus isn't on me, and it's not, and I try to keep the focus on the subject, and you know, that's a great excuse, but also
You're like, that's part of it.
yeah, that's part of it. Hands down, the majority of it. But I used to put myself in them as like cutaway jokes.
Sure.
And I decided to stop doing that because, like you said, I just don't like looking at me.
Yeah.
Well, and one of the things that CSE does is it really puts the spotlight on people who, not that they may not have other opportunities, but need more spotlight. You
Yes.
know, in two of your most recent episodes, you had episodes focused on comedian Zach Gaiman, and then Little Miss MG, excuse me, who's a comedian and clown, burlesque clown.
Burlesque clown drag. Yes.
Clown drag, yes.
Yeah.
No, that episode is going to be coming out on September 30th. I'm almost done with it. I have one more day of filming to go ahead and get the last little bit of padding that I need for that. But I love to get to know people, and I love to get to know interesting people and people that kind of do unconventional things. And I love to trying to think of the right way to say it. I found out that if you talk to people with respect about what they do, they tend to talk about what they do in ways they never really get to. And that's where it gets interesting.
Yep.
It goes from, say, I'm not going to name them, but I've interviewed a few musicians. And at the beginning of the interview, it's always like, well, I got into it because girls like it, and I thought that it was cool. And then as it goes on, the more and more you get to talk to them, or quite frankly, the more and more they drink, it turns into, well, my dad had a guitar that I wasn't able to play, so I would play it when he would leave for work, and I found out that I had a natural ability to it. And it's like that. I want to get to know that.
Yeah. I love that.
Because I'm a firm believer that everybody is interesting, even dull people. Like even if you break down why they ended up dull and they don't talk a lot, I think that kind of comes into their home life, and I do. I think that if you get to know anybody about any subject, there is something there.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of wanted to show that.
I'll tell you a brief story of how I chose my first instrument. So going into 6th grade, so I always loved music growing up, was obsessed with music. And so I always thought about playing, but I kind of had that doubt of whether or not I would be able to, as a child. But anyway, 6th grade came up, and it was time to make the decision between PE and band, right? And I was like, well, I'm not fucking doing PE, so band it is for sure. And it's a good opportunity to learn how to play music. And then I was like, okay, now it's time to choose an instrument. And I was like, ooh, saxophone. That's a lot of buttons. That's a lot of buttons. I was like, tubas, that's a big motherfucker. And then I was like, trumpet. It's light, 3 buttons. Fucking nailed it. Turns out, pretty hard instrument to play because everything that's not the 3 buttons is done with your lips. And but no, it was and it was one of those things where very quickly into my first year in 6th grade band, it just came super naturally. Everything that was being taught, I picked it up immediately, and I just got it. And my band director, I remember telling my parents, like, this kid just gets it. Like, he's going to be very good at this instrument. And then I was in a ska band, so I fucking made it, you guys.
That's the goal right there. That's the dream.
Yeah, the goal is to be in a 9-person ska band. Hey, I'm here to tell you, folks, that's too many people. Too many people to be in a band.
Man, speaking of people, we watched a trailer for Kite Man. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, we did.
That looks interesting. Do you guys both watch the Harley Quinn series on Max?
I watched the first season. I have not gotten to see any of the rest of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you should definitely jump back into it. I'm halfway through season 3.
Yeah, I think I'm right around there. Maybe I finished 3. I need to check.
Yeah.
I don't quite remember.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
I might have seen, if this is in season 2, forgive me, I might have seen a little bit of it, but the best episode is the one where they focus on, in my opinion, where they focus on Batman and they're getting onto the trolls. Do you guys remember that?
Yes.
It was about the internet trolls.
So well done. So well done. It was basically them going, fuck you, we can do this, but we choose not to because this is more interesting. And I love the way that was presented.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's been a really fun thing about this kind of time of self-aware media content is that you have shows willing to call out detractors while they're doing their detracting. She-Hulk on Disney Plus was another great example, and for whatever its strengths and weaknesses were in the CGI department, the narrative steps it took to be like, yeah, we are going to do weird fourth wall breaking stuff and self-referential nonsense because this is She-Hulk and that's what we do. And we know you have a problem with it and we don't care.
Yeah.
I like that.
I do too. And people getting upset with She-Hulk, I think that shows little dick syndrome. It was just a fun show. It wasn't trying to be anything more than that.
I totally agree about the little dick syndrome thing.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
I can't believe she's twerking.
The
Fuck
people
you.
that were upset about it told me everything I needed to know. Like, the type of person that was upset about it let me know, like, oh, okay, I know what's going on here.
Yeah. It really spoke so much to those people, and
100%.
And the fact that so many would get so upset to even hear comments like that really even just kind of sang it even louder.
It was girl Ghostbusters all over again.
Yeah, exactly. And Girl Ghostbusters, which, for the record, that is a deeply, deeply flawed movie.
Oh, 100%.
But
with some really good jokes sprinkled in.
Oh,
with
yeah.
some really funny, genuinely funny stuff sprinkled in it.
Yeah.
And then very, very poor execution on the story.
Oh, well, and there was just not a consistency in the basics of the universe. They were shooting guns at the ghosts at one point. The problem wasn't that there were lady Ghostbusters or that Ray Stans never existed. The problem was they were shooting guns at ghosts.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have like an exoskeleton or anything.
There wasn't even consistent logic in like how ghost busting would work, and at least the original movie, however silly proton packs and ghost traps are, there were at least, they said, you catch him with the proton packs and you put him in the ghost traps.
Yep.
Does that make sense? No.
Not necessarily. Does it have to? No, it's a comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love it. Bustin' makes me feel good.
Bustin' makes me feel good.
Bustin' makes me feel good.
If that's not the name of the Ghostbusters porn parody, they have missed an
the fact
opportunity.
that line is in that song,
Yeah.
and nobody was like, "Hey Ray, hey Ray, do you know how that line sounds by itself?"
Mr. Parker Jr.?
Mr. Parker Jr. I'm gonna call your dad. I'm gonna tell Ray Parker Sr. that you're in here being gross.
Did Ray Parker Sr. do anything?
Who the fuck knows?
I'm gonna look him up. I am excited for Kite Man, though. This looks super fun.
Yeah, no,
Ray
it looks
Parker
great.
Sr. said, busting should be done in the privacy of your home and you should feel ashamed.
I taught my son better than busting wherever it feels good. That's not the kind of boy I raise. Who is Ray Parker Jr.'s father? He was born. Oh, okay.
Cool, Ray Parker Sr.
He was born to
Who'da
Manolia
thought?
Parker and Ray Parker Sr. Huh. No, I think it's a different one.
I think this definitely shows my age. I have no fucking idea who Ray Parker Jr.
He's the
Oh,
one
it's the guy that
who,
sings Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
that's it.
he wrote the Ghostbusters song.
Literally it. That's his only claim to fame.
That's his only claim
That's
to fame.
it. Yeah.
Damn.
That
Yeah,
is-
imagine being a one-hit wonder and that one hit is the song that you wrote for a movie.
Yeah. Also, that is really a testament to just being a 40-some-odd-year-old man, is we will remember the dude that sang the song for that movie in 1984.
Bustin' makes me feel good.
Etched in his gray matter till the end of fucking time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I giggle a little bit every time he says it in the song. I'm like, yeah, it does.
That is such that is the cornerstone to me. That's such a uniquely human experience. The idea that you will go off on a rail about a topic, only to turn and have a friend, family member, partner, whatever, look at you like, the fuck are you talking about? Because this stuff is such an individual experience
sure.
to all of us.
There are lines from movies from my childhood that I will say randomly, just reflexively almost, and that are so weird and out of context. And like, there's one in particular, and it may have come up on the show before, but around once a month, my brain will go, cheese squeeze makes my eyeballs itch. And that's a line from the movie Munchies, which is
Munchies. Wow, I don't remember that at all.
So Munchies was a movie when they were doing like Ghoulies and Critters. This was another one that they tried to throw into that realm of like bitey little creatures, like smaller little like. And there's a scene where a bunch of people are running away and they're in a warehouse and they're like rummaging for food and they find a case of what's clearly supposed to be like Cheese Whiz, but they couldn't say Cheese Whiz because it's trademarked. So they called it Cheese Squeeze and they offer it to this one lady and she says, Cheese Squeeze makes my eyeballs itch. And I think about that line all the time.
That's a thing that happens.
It sure the fuck is.
Cheese squeeze.
But it'd be one thing if I just thought about it, but like I'll say it out loud and I can't stop myself.
As that cheese squeeze makes my eyeballs itch sounds like the title of a Fall Out Boy song.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's that would be a good one.
That is a good one.
What I think about Kite Man that looks really good is I saw a lot of stuff connecting it to that greater kind of DC animated universe that we have in Harley Quinn, like Bane, which really, if we get more of those kind of side characters, I think this could be another fun show.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. That's one of the best things about Harley Quinn is all the characters and who they've gotten to voice them and all that brings to the table. And so, yeah, if we're going to get more of that, I love it, man.
That was one of the wild things about the Kite Man trailer was when they showed Darkseid, who is like one of the biggest big bads of the DC universe. He kind of sounded like a random dude.
Yeah, yeah.
It was not very threatening at all, which I have enjoyed how they have made seemingly threatening characters just sound like Joe Blow, and it's been a lot
I love
of
what
fun.
they've done with Clayface.
Clayface, King Shark.
Yeah, King Shark's
I
the
think that's
best.
great.
Yeah.
Well, we also watched the trailer for Aquaman 2,
Yeah.
Electric Boogaloo.
Undersea Boogaloo.
Oh, that's right. Oh, you can't do Electric Boogaloo under there.
No, you would kill
get
everybody.
electrocuted.
I like when he talked.
Aquaman 2, everyone's dead.
I like when he talked about how he ruled over 2 billion people from every different species. That means most of them aren't people.
Yeah, man.
That's not what a species
People's
is.
a pretty specific word.
Yeah,
Like, I know it's just a bunch of internet rumors, but everybody is saying that this movie apparently sucks.
I mean, I
Yeah.
heard the first one sucked.
yeah.
Yeah, I had a lot of issues with the first one.
I never even got around to it.
I watched it because I like James Wan. I think he, especially like with his camera work, he is a fantastic filmmaker. And I was let down, but I don't know if that's one of those things where it was him or if it was the studio interference or what.
See, I'm actually surprised that I didn't watch it because I love like Under the Sea. I love that setting. I like water. I love fish and bright color and all that stuff that comes along with it.
Yeah.
But just there was something in me that was like, this movie's gonna suck, man. Don't do it.
Maybe we should do it for our spin-off podcast, A-Holes at the Movies.
Perhaps
We should watch that.
Maybe.
Instead of just watching just one of the guys again.
I just really would. I've always been an Aquaman fan.
Yeah.
I do like. I know he gets a lot of shit.
He's a
'cause
cool
all he does.
character. No, in comics for sure, he's a cool character, and when done right, like I know on Batman: Brave and the Bold, for example, he was done really well.
Yeah, this dude can literally make a Sharknado. Like, He is so powerful, and in everything except like a lot of the DC animated stuff, and like you said in the comics and the live action movies. He's either a joke or in this one, it's almost like they tried to turn him into a roided out Rob Zombie kind of guy. And it's like, that's not who he is at all.
I was getting little bits of Fish Out of Water, Family Man, silly story. And then, the kind of overpowered, just a brick house with fists.
They did take a hard left on what Aquaman looks like from like the Aryan Fishman to Jason Momoa.
Yeah. But the trailer also had a ton of action scenes. Like there were so many different scenes of high action that I really, for a movie that I've also heard is just bad across the board, it got me like, well, maybe it's not bad.
Yeah.
It looks fun. It looks exciting. The trailer's cut very well in parts, I would say.
You're deep into the comic lore. Has there ever been an Aquaman Mr. Limpet crossover?
I can't say for sure.
Can't say for sure. Might have.
Maybe.
Where Aquaman and Mr. Limpet help battle World War II
I think
submarines.
possibly.
Have you ever seen The Incredible Mr. Limpet?
I have not seen The Incredible Mr. Limpet.
It is something else. The plot is that Don Knotts becomes a fish, an animated fish. I really want to read like a synopsis. Is there like a meek and mild-mannered bookkeeper Henry Limpet has few passions in life. It's mid-1941. Where'd it go?
Oh, it went away.
It's pulling up.
Yeah.
He turns into a fish and let's see. Mr. Limpet turns into a talking fish and helps the U.S. Navy locate and destroy Nazi submarines.
Yeah, out of all the things, here we go. His friend George Stickles in the Navy and lays it on pretty thick. If Henry could have one thing, it would be to become a fish. While on a visit to Coney Island, Henry falls into the water and miraculously gets his wish.
Yep. And then he can make this really fucked up noise with his mouth that like fucks up the submarines or something.
That's amazing. I mean, obviously, we're going to watch part of the trailer.
Oh, here we go. Oh, there's an official trailer. Beautiful.
Oh, wait, hang on. Got to get to this.
Here's news from Arthur Godfrey.
Hi. You know I do a radio show every morning on the CBS radio network, don't you?
Do I know that, Arthur?
I don't know that for I am.
Well, if you listen, which
Not
I
that
hope
old.
you do once in a while.
Okay, we're going to skip ahead here to the trailer portion of the trailer. Eventually, now that we got the spinning white wheel.
The Incredible Mr. Limpet. You love this movie.
I will.
Hey, that's Don Knotts, the funny man from TV. You know, Don Knotts. Sure. And now Don Knotts stars in a big new color movie as The Incredible Mr.
A
Limpet.
big new color movie.
Now, you may ask, what makes this Mr. Limpet so incredible? Well, as a man, Limpet's what you'd call a poor fish.
If you paid half as much attention to me as you do those fish, I'd be the happiest wife in Flatbush. dear. It's just that fish are so bright and cheerful. Beautiful.
Look at him,
Does
George.
Don Knotts want to fuck the
Always
fish?
drawing into
Yeah.
his shell, going off into his
He
fish
wants
world.
to be a fish so he can fuck the fish.
But as a fish, Limpet is, well, he's incredible.
You are Henry.
Yes, George.
Is there anything I can do for you, Henry?
Well, I wanted to talk to you about my helping the Navy.
Oh wow! He becomes a fish, and then he's like, "I'm volunteering to help the Navy."
And go right to the top level. I don't want to waste any time on red tape.
As a secret weapon, he's incredible too.
See, there's the thing.
Das Limpet! Der Kapitän! Das Limpet! Das Limpet! Das Limpet!
We've got the system now.
Fish has a wife in Brooklyn?
But she's not a fish. She's a real woman.
I knew I should have thrown you out the first time you came to me with this fish.
Wow!
Yeah, it is wild.
That is one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it's fucking incredible.
Here's the deal.
Get it?
I have spent so much of my life watching things that weren't the Incredible Mr. Limpet.
Time you can never get back.
Yeah, mistakes have been made, is what I'm saying. Why did we watch other trailers? Why do we not just have all of our guests watch this every time?
Who knows, man?
Man,
Mr. Limpet Goes to Washington was pretty good too.
yeah, here's the deal.
All right, I thought you were serious for a second. I'm like, all right, I have to go home and do a double 50.
Yeah.
I bet this is on like Disney Plus or some shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up. Can I stream it and see where we can find the Incredible Mr. Limpet?
And then pull up Can I Boof It?
You can always boof it. That's what a blender is for. The Incredible Mr. Limpet.
Oh, interesting. Oh, okay. I thought you had searched for it, and I was like, it pulled up the wrong movie. It pulled up it.
While I was looking it up, did you guys hear they're doing like a Welcome to Derry, like a prequel to the It movie?
Oh, okay. No.
Oh no, I heard. Yeah, is it already in production?
I think it's already in production. Yes.
Nice.
You
I did
could
hear
not
that it was
see-
a thing, a possibility.
You cannot see Mr. Limpet for free anywhere.
God damn it!
I'll pay money.
What is that? What is that? $3 if you want Mr. Limpet in your
You
home
could buy
today.
it for 10.
You can get it on YouTube. Yeah, I guess you could buy it and own it forever. Watch Mr. Limpet as much as you want.
You're gonna want to watch it more than once.
Are you sure? Are you sure you're sure?
Are you sure?
I'm not sure.
You sure about that?
You sure about that? Is that I think you should leave?
Yeah.
Okay. I like how I can tell you're doing an I think you should leave impression just by the way you move your head.
Are you sure about that?
Like that is
Yeah.
Tim Robinson head movement.
I wasn't loud enough though.
Yeah, that's true. Do you like I think you should leave? You ever watch that?
I what I've seen of it, I really liked the driving. Do you not know how to drive? No, I don't.
That made me laugh so
good.
much.
That and the one.
Not
where they-
everybody knows how to do everything.
I love it. He's like, just put it in reverse. He's like, oh, okay. I don't know what I'm doing. No, the guy, the one where he dresses up as like the old man makeup and it's like really rough on him.
Yeah.
And they're trying to do that prank and he just keeps screaming, I want out of
I'm gonna
this.
take the mask off. Don't take the mask off.
It's so good.
That show's so wild.
55 tacos, 55 hamburgers, 55 treat. Have you seen that one? The pay it forward sketch?
The drive-through.
Yeah.
Goosebumps.
Goosebumps.
So this is a remake of the old series. It used to be on Nickelodeon, but that was like an anthology series, and this seems like it's more of like a movie or like there's more of a through line.
This is like a series telling one story. Yeah.
yeah.
That's
What made you mad?
well, that is one. It's that it should be an anthology. I grew up reading Goosebumps. I love Goosebumps so much.
Yeah.
And it really shaped my personality. So like,
Hell yeah.
growing up, it should be an anthology series for one. And if you're going to remake it and reboot it, there are literally hundreds of books you can draw from. And they're redoing The Haunted Mask and they're redoing Slappy. And I don't like that. Plus, And
these are old classic Goosebumps stories.
They are classic Goosebumps stories, but they've been done to death.
I was going to say it's the cheap fan grab, right?
Yes.
Like,
and to me, I don't think they should have done Goosebumps. I think they should have left it alone. The movie was okay. That's fine.
is that the one Jack Black was in? Mm-hmm. That's what I thought.
It actually wasn't terrible. It was okay. But
I mean, you put Jack Black in anything, it's going to get a little bit better.
Yeah.
I think that if they were going to redo anything and especially make it a TV show, it should have been Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Oh, yeah.
I think that should have been.
Did you see that movie?
I did, and the movie was just kind of meh. But the best part about the movie was the obvious love for the old stories and the artwork, the famous artwork
Imagery.
that should not be in a kid's book.
Yeah, I still have those books up there.
Oh, yeah.
And we went through and read a couple on here. That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that artwork is legitimately terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
And as a child, not a lot gave me nightmares, but some of those pictures did.
Yeah, there were pictures in that book that I would like mark where it was so that when I was reading the book, I wouldn't turn
You'd
to that
skip
page.
over.
Yeah, because they were that scary to me. You know.
There's a monster at the end of this book.
Oh yeah,
That's another good one. Have you ever read that?
No.
It's a classic kids book. It's a Grover book.
okay.
And he's constantly trying to get you to not turn the page because there's a monster at the end of the book.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty good.
And isn't the monster at the end of the book just Grover?
I can't say.
You don't want to spoil it.
I can neither confirm or deny the end of there's a monster at the end of this book.
Like I said,
The monster's really the friends we made along the way.
The monsters. I'm going to watch this to give it a chance. I love Justin Long and I love him in horror movies. I love that he's turned to that.
I like Justin Long too. My first thought when I saw him and he was like, I'm an English teacher, was like, dang, it's been long enough to where Justin Long is not the student, he's the teacher.
Yeah,
now.
he's the old now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we knew him as he was the kid. Like he
Yeah.
was the kid and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Now grown man and we're old and
Yep.
gonna die. Oh dang.
Yeah. Time comes for us all.
That's true.
I'm coming up on 30. I'm be 30 in January. I'm actually looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I am. Yeah. I did have my first bout of feeling old because I got surd for the first time the other day.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, a little kid was just trying to be nice, and he comes in, he's like, "Excuse me, sir," and it took everything in me not to go. "Excuse me, you little shit!" Like,
I'll do you one better. I got called old timer.
oh no,
I almost punched him in the back of the head. I was like, "You fucking cunt!"
Was it your son? Like what?
No, it was some little skateboarding punk.
You're like, I used to be the skateboarding punk.
Yeah,
just look at him. This is going to happen to you.
he was like, "How's it going, old timer?" And I was like, "I will fucking kill you."
Yeah, I noticed some. I've been very fortunate. A lot of people have problems as they grow up, and even young, depending on different factors. And pain in their back, pain in their legs, pain, sitting up, getting down, sleeping. Of course, Mike, you've talked on the show extensively about you've wrestled with those issues.
I live in pain every single day.
Right?
Yep.
I have been very blessed in that those are not age signs that I have normally seen much of throughout my life. Till recently. The last couple of weeks, I've noticed that every set of stairs, I'm like, fuck. Every long walk, I'm like, fuck.
And where's it getting you? Is it knees,
It's back and legs.
Back and legs.
And I was like, okay. I was like 44 into 45. That was when mine kicked in right there.
Yep.
And it's just like I've learned with the glasses, this stuff comes for everybody in some degree or another.
Oh, for sure.
So-
My pain lives in the neck and back,
Neck
and
and
my
back.
pussy and my crack.
as it does.
my whole neck, back, pussy crack hurts.
I have a horrible right knee, and I wish I could say it's age. I'm sure that, again, everybody starts bitching about when you hit 30. It's like that's when that happens. But so I'm sure that's a factor. But for me, it's because I got blackout drunk in South Padre.
Hell yeah!
And I woke up and my knee was about the size of a softball.
Oh damn!
Yeah. Apparently, while we were waiting on the bus to go back to the hotel, I'm drunk. The last thing I remember is playing Slap the Bag on the beach, and I'm like, I'm gonna run across the street and buy a pack of cigarettes. And my friends told me that I tripped and I did like a Family Guy fall where there's no in between. You go from here to here. And they knew something was wrong because like cars were coming up and honking, but I wasn't moving. And this homeless guy at the gas station, who I found out later, his name is Bottles.
That's tight. That's a good name.
Shout out to Bottles. He runs over and carries me back to my friends.
Oh, damn. Bottles rules.
Bottles is cool, man. And I have no fucking memory of him. But yeah.
Interesting.
So that's what happened to me. I really
Wouldn't
wish.
it be, I don't know why, but when you said you woke up and your knee was really swollen, my brain was like, wouldn't it be rad if your friends were like, yeah, man, you got really drunk and you challenged us to one-on-one basketball and then you fucking blew out your ACL and MCL. Trying to juke us take us to the hole.
For somebody as tall as I am, I have zero like basketball ability. I was not a sport. I was very much a band kid like you.
Fair enough.
I tried sports for a little bit,
Yeah.
and it was just one of those things where I'm like, it is not my thing.
For sure. I love basketball. It's my favorite sport. Growing up, I played baseball a little bit, tried playing basketball. I was terrible at every sport, but I still enjoy sports for the most part. But yeah, I was also terrible. So Goosebumps, I remember like the books coming out for me. So I'm 42 now. And I remember when they were coming out, I was like right at that age where I was like almost too old, or like, you know, in your head, you're like, I'm too old for those kid books. You know what I mean? But I still remember reading some of them and like liking them and then being like, oh man, am I not supposed to like these now? Like, you know what I mean? Whenever you're like a preteen or whatever, and you're like, is this cool? Is this not cool or whatever?
That was me with Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Oh, okay.
But as far as Goosebumps go, that was like a dirty secret because I love my mom and she's gotten a lot better about it now. But I grew up in that house where like you weren't able to read Harry Potter because it was evil, you know, stuff like that. Very like church heavy kind of home. And so that was
absolutely. And my mom once took an album away from me from a ska band called Mephistopheles because the album was called God Bless Satan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and their whole gimmick was a joke.
I was about to, like I said, Goosebumps was that thing where I would borrow them from my friends, and they were so short, and the letters were so
get
big
away with it
that I would read them like at school. That way, I didn't have to try to take it home. And
nice,
yeah. Speaking of Harry Potter not being able to read it, one of my favorite memories of my dad was he would sneak read me Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Fuck yes, that rules.
I love my dad. My dad's not the best dad, but hands down, he is a damn good friend. And he would, I remember he snuck read me that, and then the first book that I ever really tried to read on my own was Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, and he handed it to me like a drug dealer, like underhanding it.
Love that.
Like my mom was in the kitchen cooking, and he's like, "Here, take this, go to your room."
I love that.
Yeah, man.
I love that. Hilton had to step away for a couple of seconds. Hilton, you missed a really great story about Jacob's dad, basically in clandestine slipping him Harry Potter books on the DL behind mom's back.
Oh wow,
100%.
Good shit.
That's the kind of stuff that I always see on Reddit on the "Am I the Asshole?" Subreddit, where you'll always have like one parent, like, you know, like, am I the asshole for slipping my kid real burgers behind my vegan wife's back and stuff?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I don't want to be in your marriage.
Like that one maybe, this one not so much. The Harry Potter books, that's cool.
I
That was just a cool dad move.
No, I love the "Am I the Asshole" subreddit. I love it so much.
It's such a great place to just like feel superior, just like, you know, like it very much scratches that itch that like daytime talk show TV would. Like, you know, my problems are okay. Like I have problems too, but it's not the end of the world. I'm gonna get through it because you know, if they can deal with their entire estranged family blowing up their DMs because they named their daughter after their, you know, dead sister's favorite flower, you know, I'm gonna be okay. You know.
Have you read the one about the this lady? Basically, her husband has like a peeing himself kink, where he'll piss himself and he has to do it in front of people to like get off.
Wow.
And so
oh boy, that's a rough one.
She lied to her family and said that he has a medical condition that he can't control it. And so because of that, he wasn't invited to her sister's wedding.
Yeah, sure.
Because naturally. And it was one of those things where it's like, in my opinion, everybody there is an asshole. Like it's fine if you have a kink, but you don't involve other people in it. You lied about him having a medical condition that makes
also
you
an asshole.
And you fucking told a guy with a medical condition that you think he has, he's not able to come to a wedding.
Yeah,
like,
that's also kind of rough.
you.
That's rough.
Well, I will.
Hey,
the
Jeff,
wedding one I get
listen,
though.
Jeff, we've come to really love you, and we're really looking forward to having you in our family. But we cannot have you pissing your pants in front of Grandma Carol.
I mean, I guess. But,
You're a nasty little pee-pee boy, and you can't come to the party.
and you can't come unless you piss yourself.
You can't come unless you're a little dirty little pee-pee boy. So,
Okay.
you nasty little piss pig.
I don't took a turn.
Like, I feel like if it was if they addressed it like that, it would have been a lot better than, no, he can't come because he can't control himself. And he's, it's
But
like,
part of me also, like, I understand, like, not wanting someone covered in piss at your wedding.
no, I get it
Piss
completely.
smells bad.
Yeah.
I get it completely. I'm
You
just,
have an outdoor summer wedding, that's going to stink real bad.
Especially if you've noticed that he doesn't immediately vacate.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
he's not like
apparently-
he's not rushing for a clean pair of pants.
no,
Yeah.
apparently he would like stand up and announce it.
He's
Like,
just sit-
oh no.
Oh
this
no, I've
happened
yucked
again.
myself. Oh no, it appears I've yucked all over myself.
Also-
I guess I'll have to sit in my mess.
We got to talk about, like not to kink shame, but to kink shame maybe a little.
For sure. That's one where I'm like, if someone gets mad at me for kink shame in that one, I think I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
You can get off another way.
Well, and the part about it is
maybe not right away.
The part about it is involving non-consensual
Yeah,
people.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's what bothered me.
That's why I have no issues kink shaming this one, because it's not like him and the wife are at home and he's like, I want to piss my pants in front of you because it makes me really hard.
Yeah, no.
And then she says, okay, I'm fine with that. Then there you go. You're good to go. But he's like, I have to piss in front of strangers.
strangers, your family at family gatherings, in restaurants, like apparently
Yeah.
they've become a huge problem.
yeah,
No, that's bad news bears.
well, and also, I mean, you like so the kink is that's how he can get off.
That it's definitely part of it. Apparently, go home and fuck like rabbits.
Try harder. Try harder to find another way.
Yeah.
You know, because
another way.
I'm sorry. Like I understand that like week one, you're not gonna. Yeah, you're not getting off that week. Like you're stuck in your kink. You're just you're broke on the brain, and that's how you are. But by week 7, you'll figure something out.
Yeah.
You know, you'll realize you know what, lesbian porn's okay too.
Yeah.
Like something else will click. Like it's not.
I can't remember who said it. I think it was on the Dan Cummins Time Suck podcast. But he was basically talking about kinks and kink shaming and having like people that have really rough kinks, things like rape fantasies and even like cannibalism and stuff like that. Where he described it as, okay, so you're prone to like this type of music, but that doesn't mean you can't like and appreciate other genres.
Yeah.
And so I do see it as that.
I mean, I understand that, like, you know, sure, just like if you're someone who's locked themselves into, they only eat this kind of food, or they don't, you know, their palate is very narrow. It's like,
Oh, hi, I'm right here.
So here's the deal, so if you truly do have a very narrow palate, you can eat those other foods. It's just the first couple weeks are gonna suck. But for many, I won't assume to say all or be so assumptive, but I assume for some of them you will develop a taste. Like you
So for me, it's not a flavor issue 90% of the time. It's a deeply subconscious textural aversion to things.
yeah. And
Sorry.
with subconscious, it's definitely harder because that stuff has so much to do with growing and developing. But I have to assume that for some of it that maybe isn't super tied into, you know, core ideals of who you are, you'll adjust. You know,
Sure.
You know, or take the chips I brought this morning. You weren't into.
Right.
You didn't even want to try them. But if that was the only chips, you'd figure it out.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, for me, it was a combination of I knew there was a donut coming for me, and I was like,
Oh yeah.
do I want that flavor right before I munch on a yummy cake donut? I don't think so.
And I just, you know, like you talked about, like painful, like, or dangerous kinks, like a sexual assault or a rape fantasy. It's like, you know what? That doesn't. No,
Yeah.
That's not the only way you get off. Like, and again, week 1 maybe,
Yeah.
but keep trying.
My whole thing.
Have you heard about stepsister porn?
That one's yucky.
It's so yucky.
Favorite thing about like the whole don't kink shame, like that whole we don't kink shame that thing. Is like everybody's got a kink and kinks are weird. Like they're fucking weird, and a big part of like that feeling is this is a dirty little secret. Mm-hmm. So people who kink shame are helping people get off, and people who are trying to normalize it are kink shaming.
Yeah,
like
yeah. If it was super normal, then they probably wouldn't get off on it, right?
100%.
I mean, if everybody's pissing their pants all the time,
oh god, this
if peeing your pants is cool, consider me Miles Davis. If peeing your pants makes you come,
no,
consider me hobby. John Holmes.
Try something else. Have you tried lesbian porn?
I forgot the name of. For a minute, I forgot Ron Jeremy's name.
I bet a lot of people wish they could forget Ron Jeremy's name.
Yeah, it turns out he was a huge piece of shit.
Yeah, man.
Fuck that guy forever.
Ron Jeremy was a huge piece of shit.
Yeah, he was. Among all the consensual sex he got on film, apparently he was having non-consensual sex as well. Which is damn.
I mean, my God,
for sure.
You literally make porn. What the fuck is wrong with
How
you?
much more could you need to fuck?
Yeah. Well, and again, another one is.
Wait a minute. Let me rephrase that. How much more would you physically be able to fuck?
That's what I was going to ask. Because like a big problem with people that work in the adult industry is that they kind of get desensitized to it, and it's hard to have relationships.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, what the fuck is wrong with that guy?
I mean, look, if you're making pizzas 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, you probably don't want to come home and make a pizza.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking Wario looking motherfucker.
Squirt. Anyways, Goosebumps looks weird.
Yeah, it does. Goosebumps looks weird. I mean, it looked fine if you have no familiarity with these stories. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's what it is. I mean, obviously, Disney Plus has a vested interest in looking in aiming content towards young people.
I was going to say, I bet Eleanor will love it.
Exactly.
And I'll probably watch some of it with her because, like you said, I like Justin long enough to give it a shot.
And maybe, hopefully, if this does well, there'll be more content that can finally dip into other sources for good, scary stories,
For sure.
But
yeah, I think I'm gonna watch Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark now that you've told me, about the artwork and stuff. But that was one where when I saw the trailers for that, I was like, man,
yeah, it definitely, yeah. It should have been an anthology. I have no idea why they tried to make it like one cohesive thing,
and it should have been a lot darker and
But
scary.
I will say, especially if like the artwork is what drew you to it. The amount of love and detail they put into the creature design in that movie is amazing.
All right. That makes me
that sounds cool.
Yeah. This one's exciting for me, especially because of my deep love for these bands.
Well, and not just cool because it's a music documentary, but also because it's really made up of footage that they shot over like a 10, 20-year period.
Almost 40.
Tell us about it.
Almost 40 years. This is going to be called Omar and Cedric, If This Ever Gets Weird. Omar and Cedric, of course, are the creative minds behind At the Drive-In, the Mars Volta, Anti-Mask. They've done quite a bit of stuff. Cedric Bixler Zavala, excuse me. He's the singer. Omar Rodriguez Lopez is the guitarist. And they have made some incredibly weird, beautiful, awesome music over the years that I was always really obsessed with. Of course, Cedric's been in the news a little bit lately because his wife, Chrissy Bixler, is one of the three accusers in the Danny Masterson rape trial.
Oh, wow.
So Chrissy and Cedric, and of course the entire Masterson family, were longtime Scientologists. And during that time, Chrissy was with Danny Masterson. Danny Masterson drugged and raped her and other women. He's now been convicted of that. I don't know that I have to say allegedly anymore. Now that he was convicted of it.
You do not.
But anyways, since then, Chrissy and Cedric got married. They left the church in, I think, 2016 or 2017. Basically, among other things, due to the immense pressure that was put on her and the other women by the upper echelon of Scientology to silence them and keep them from suing Danny Masterson or trying to get police involved or anything at the time. And it was super, super fucked up. They put a lot of money into Danny's defense, and Scientology super fucked. And Cedric made a pretty good statement that was it started out very well worded and very like, all right, this is what we've been looking for. And at the end he was just like, and fuck Scientology and fuck everybody that defended this piece of shit. And I was like, hell yeah. But yeah, this is definitely going to be a really fun to watch. I've always been really interested in the super weirdness behind his lyrics, especially once I found out he was a Scientologist. I was like, man, how much of that weirdness in the lyrics are from that? You know what I mean? So I'm super, super interested to see this. And yeah, it just looks like it's going to be a very interesting watch visually.
Yeah. The footage that was put together in the trailer just looked like you were getting such snippets of really who they were. Fun off the cuff moments. It just seemed
couple
like,
of weirdos from El Paso.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, exactly. And that's, for all of us, the three of us are perfect examples of, we've all been involved in various creative projects for as long as we can remember growing up. And it's that same kind of spirit, that same kind of energy that I felt in that trailer. And that really, even as someone who only has a passing interest in At the Drive-In and even less in the Mars Volta, I would be interested to watch it just because of what I would see in myself in it and what I would see in all of us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
So it looks very cool.
Yep. If this ever gets weird, does it? I didn't see a release date. Oh, October.
Okay.
Go up just a little bit. It says, okay, so it will premiere at a film festival in October, which means that hopefully after that festival, it'll get distribution and then we can see it somewhere else.
I was going to say, no, I'm definitely going to end up watching that. I just like learning about new things and new subjects, and docs are the best way to do that, in my opinion. So,
and you might come out with a love of a new band or two.
Well, just from the little bit of the song that you showed me earlier, I really did enjoy At the Drive-In. We
listened off mic. Or off the recording, I should say. Listened to a little bit of One Armed Scissor, which was, of course, the radio single from Relationship of Command, the 2000 album.
Their breakout album, really.
Yeah, their last album and their breakout album. Yeah. Then At the Drive-In broke up. Half of those members formed another band called Sparta, and then the other half formed the Mars Volta.
Yeah. See, the Mars Volta I have heard of. I don't think I've heard any of their music. So I'm 100% down just to kind of get a feel for them more.
Yeah. The Mars Volta is definitely bigger, more production, more like a bigger scale, more epic.
Yeah, that's one thing about when At the Drive-In came out is we were, and not that we were, not that raw music hadn't been popular at the time, but it was kind of a part of a wave of especially lo-fi music that was getting radio airplay. It really, and it because of that, it had a distinctly different sound.
Oh yeah,
than a lot of what was on the radio at the time, with the exception of maybe some of the newer White Stripes stuff that was coming out right around the same time. But even that, the White Stripes had kind of gone from more produced stuff on like White Blood Cells, getting into some more raw stuff on, I want to say Elephant, but I might be wrong on that one, on which one they really started to kind of embrace a bit of a more raw sound. But that was also right around the same time in those early 2000s. And it was At the Drive-In, again, specifically to refocus what I'm talking about, was such a great example of something that was, it felt more real because it was less produced.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's one of the things that drew me to that, because coming from like the DIY punk rock hardcore scene, like that was our shit. So At the Drive-In, we just loved.
Yeah.
Yup.
Yeah.
Love it.
Should we
gonna watch it?
We absolutely. Should we pick and plug it?
We got a little bit more time if you wanted to dip into the.
This one was wild because I thought it was wild already, and then it got deeper for us.
Yeah.
Bill Willingham is a writer for DC Comics. He's been on various superhero and original properties for years. Most notably in recent years was his original series Fables, which
I know nothing of.
And Fables is a...
You ever heard of this?
I've heard of Fables. I've heard it's very adult and very good.
Okay.
Yeah. Fables is it's a story of a neighborhood in New York City, which is home to the characters of children's stories come to life in various ways. This includes Snow White. This includes Rose Red. This includes the Seven Dwarves. This includes the Big Bad Wolf, although he is a man, a private detective named Bigby Wolf. Which is, and I mentioned that specifically because if you've ever heard of a game called The Wolf Among Us from Telltale Games, that was a spin-off game in the Fables universe.
Okay.
So Fables as a property not only was telling unique stories set in this universe, and these were typically crime stories, political intrigue, interpersonal tales. The original story from the very first arc of the comic is Who Killed Rose Red, where Rose Red's body is discovered by Bigby Wolf.
Thought you were going to say Roger Rabbit.
Who killed Roger Rabbit? And me. No, it wasn't. I wasn't there. I was a reader, and the following stories are similar, and then it gets into political intrigue. They explore the world of the
apparently
Fables.
some anti-woke, anti-Palestine, anti-abortion storylines.
Well, we'll get to that. But the book itself was good. I read it, like I said, about 10, 15 years ago. I don't know if I read the full run or maybe 30, 50 issues, whatever it was. But good stuff, interesting characters, and fantastic art, mostly from the same guy whose name I'm trying to track down if it's written somewhere in this article. But he is another very well-known artist. But I'm not seeing it, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm going to try and pull that up while I'm talking. But the big news right now is that Willingham announced on online that he is putting all of the characters of Fables in the public domain, and that's the big shocking thing here is that
that anyone would put their own stuff in the public
their own
domain.
Creation. And what it is he's having a contract fight with with DC Comics, and because of that, he is trying to get around non-payment issues by essentially screwing them out of money as well.
Right.
So this is a bold move from a creator with his creation to kind of subvert what we've known for years are bad practices with comic book companies for their creators. They have long found ways to, without getting too deep into it, because I don't have a lot of these stories right in front of me, but have found various ways to screw creators out of money, out of ownership, out of rights, out of reprint rights, out of reprint in other medium rights, whether it's comic characters coming to the big screen and the creators not being compensated, whether it's the stories being reproduced on paper and the creators not being compensated, whether it's the compensations being pennies on the dollar and essentially being meaningless so the company can say it's doing right while it's still doing wrong. These stories are a dime a dozen. And because of that, it's so interesting to see a creator taking steps to try and fight back against that and essentially finding a way to say, hey, fans, you love these characters. They're yours now. You do what you want with them. Make them whatever you need them to be. DC, of course, immediately pushing back, saying, no, these characters are not in the public domain. And, of course, contracts are very complicated. So it will take smarter men than I to make sense of that. And then as we dug into the article, we immediately start seeing pushback from other creators and fans talking about how Willingham himself is far from free of blame for his own skewed, awful personal views.
And apparently bringing them into the storylines.
Yeah, you mentioned that too, that the article that we saw on, I think, Collider mentioned that he had anti-Palestine,
Anti-woke, anti-Palestine, anti-abortion
storylines. And I don't remember any of that, but I also was far from as socially conscious as I am now when I read this stuff.
Yeah. At this point, if I hear someone say that they're anti-woke,
Yeah.
I just immediately default to, oh, you're old and lazy-brained.
Yes. Oh, you're an asshole.
Yeah, you're old, smooth-brained, lazy dum-dum.
You're bad. You're a bad person,
And bad at thinking.
and bad at the thinking and the doing.
Yeah, it's mostly people that are like, I'm too lazy to adjust my way of thinking, speaking, and living.
Well, and outside of Willingham's possibly troublesome views, I'm very curious to see what happens with this idea of putting these characters in public domain.
Sure.
And I really want to keep an eye on this. And hell,
Perhaps some redemption.
if it turns out that there's that is true, then let's write a story. Let's do a mystery with
I was going to say
Snow White and the Big Bad Wolf.
I was going to say we make his characters get abortions. We make we make a bunch of them trans.
They go to Palestine to get
Absolutely.
abortions,
Yeah.
which is so problematic.
Hell yeah,
Yeah.
love it.
No,
I
I'm
love
sorry
it.
for being so quiet through that. That's just so interesting. I had not heard about any of this. That was amazing.
It just broke over the last 48 hours. It's really brand new
I also,
stuff.
I don't know. It's hard for me to wrap my head around someone like bringing those stories into a comic.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know. I
How
guess,
can they do an anti-Palestine comic book?
Right.
Yeah. It just seems like you know the Joker exists. You don't got to do this.
Well, and it's also just like comic books are typically, you would think,
Oh wow.
not a place full of like right wing thinkers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a few known.
I'm sure there's a few, but it's not a place that you would like normally think that to be happening.
Yeah.
Right? Like if all of a sudden fucking Batman was like,
Batman's a fascist.
Gotham's too woke. Hell yeah, defund the Batman.
Batman is ACAB.
You gotta take that motherfucker money away.
Abwab. All Bruce Waynes are bastards.
Abwab. Boy, that sounded silly.
He's dressing like a bat to fight crime.
Sure does. Especially when you don't even got no superpowers, you dumb shit.
What was it in the Lego movie where they were trying to get like Batman? He's like, Batman, do we really need a guy dressing as a bat beating up the homeless and the mentally impaired?
Yeah, man. We had Ryan Green on an episode. I think that was the defund the Batman episode, right?
Probably.
Where we just slowly came to realize, like, hey, Batman is kind of a villain. He's a little bit of a villain.
A little problematic, that Batman.
Yeah, I mean, he might not kill anybody, but doesn't mean he's pure of heart.
Man, I don't know. Man, are we being sacrilegious on today, Batman Day? Of all
On
days?
today of all days, the Lord's Day, Batman's Day.
The Lord's Day. We're recording this on September 16th, which allegedly is, because it has not been proven in court like Danny Masterson's rape. It is Batman Day.
Yeah, Batman Day is a little loosey-goosey. Sometimes it's on a Thursday. Sometimes it's on the 23rd. Sometimes it's on the 17th.
Yeah, not a strict thing.
Not set in stone. It's whenever the fuck the cash grab of San Diego Comic-Con is.
Well, I guess that's when the first one was.
Oh,
But
okay.
I don't think San Diego's happening right now. San Diego's back in like August.
Oh.
So,
Well, whatever.
yeah.
Defund Batman Day.
But it's Batman Day. So that's a thing that is.
Happy Batman Day, everybody.
Happy Batman Day.
Yeah.
Did you get a cake?
No, but I might go get a comic book. That might be fun.
I'm going to get a cake.
You can get a cake?
Fuck yeah.
Just get some cake?
I mean, just an excuse to have cake.
Yeah. Any excuse to have cakes. Good day.
I love you like a fat kid love cake.
Aw.
Shall we pick it and plug it?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. Read Batman. Chip Zdarsky's writing it right now. It's pretty good.
That's your pick after all of us.
He fell from space in one issue.
You're gonna refund the Batman by putting more money in his
Batman's coifers.
in Big Batman.
No, fuck Batman. Read Doctor Strange. Jed McKay's killing it over at Marvel.
Oh, yeah.
That book has been awesome. We're only like 7 or 8 issues in, so it's still early enough. If you want to grab the early trades or go back issue hunting, you can have some fun doing that. Jed McKay, one of my favorite writers over at Marvel now. He did some really stellar stuff with the Clea Strange series when Doctor Strange was dead, and now that old Doc is back. The eponymous book has been good as well. So I talk about all this over on my podcast. It's called OK Geek. I haven't done a new episode in like 2.5 weeks, but maybe if you listen, if you promise to listen,
If you Pinky swear.
Pinky swear you'll listen. I'll record a new episode this weekend.
Love it.
Just for you. I'll talk about Jed McKay and why he's so good. Oh, and Kelly Thompson. If you have not heard me rave about her, go listen to the podcast. Talk about her a lot. She just launched a new Birds of Prey series over at DC, which has got a kick-ass team, which has Black Canary, Harley Quinn, Cassandra Cain, Batgirl, Big Barda, and someone from the Wildcats team who I don't know. And it is a really cool book. So go check that out as well. And plugs. I am comedy. The Starlight Comedy Night. I am Tulsa Comedy.
As they're listening to this, they can come see you tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Really? What am I doing
On
tomorrow?
Monday.
Oh, am I going to be competing?
You are.
Against 14 other comics?
You are. Which
to take
reminds
one of 3
me,
top spots?
Which reminds me, right after we quit recording, I'm gonna do the thing where I put my hands up and you do the knees.
Yeah,
You know. Yeah. We gotta get some training in. That's right. That's a good Street Fighter one.
Yeah, I know.
What
my
was
Street Fighter music.
now? I'm trying to think of the music with the bike riding from Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Dun, 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 dun.
Nope, that's not it.
Dun, 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 dun. That's Guile's theme, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's definitely Guile's theme.
I'm going to see if I can find that Punch Out music.
Well, I'll plug for you.
Come to the Looney Bin Comedy Club. See me compete.
Monday, September 18th at the Looney Bin Comedy Club. Go to looneybincomedy.com to get your tickets now to see Hilton Price Monday night. Well, why does your computer hate the internet?
I don't know, man.
Weird.
I just think it's your fault.
I thought it initially, and I was like, well, no, because the board's still connected, my phone's still connected.
That's true.
My other computer.
But yeah, that and then come to the
Computer,
Starlight
no
Comedy Night.
computing.
Second Friday of every month. No. This month, October, just heads up. We are doing the Starlight Comedy Night in the third Friday on October 20th. So be ready for that.
I still need to go up.
Jacob, when people want to check out... Dun, 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 dun. Jacob, if listeners want to check out CSE, where can they check that out?
You can check it out on YouTube at A Serious Picture. I also upload the videos to the A Serious Picture Facebook page, so you can watch both of those there.
All right. And when's the next one coming out again?
The next one is coming out on the 30th of this month.
September 30th.
But you do have the Zach Amon episode is up, which is just a couple weeks old, and then you've got some of the previous content from before that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. If you go to YouTube, you'll be able to find all of it. On Facebook, it's a little more sparse. I just kind of put the ones that I like the most.
All right.
Yeah.
Anywhere you'd like people to follow you other than that, or
you can follow me again on Facebook at Jacob Hatfield, at A Serious Picture, Instagram also at A Serious Picture, and YouTube. Nice. I have a TikTok. I don't take it all that serious. My TikTok's name is literally was told I need to have a TikTok. So I'm trying to get more into it for the kids, but
I love that I'm old enough to where I feel like I can get away with when people are like, "Oh, you got to have a TikTok." I can be like, "Nah."
Yeah. No, I don't.
Yeah.
I really don't.
And they're like, "How old are you?" I'm like, 42. And they're like, "Fair enough."
Well, see, the fucked up thing is I'm like, I don't want a TikTok. And then I put, literally I had to split it up into 2 halves. And I think you watched it on TikTok. It was either you or somebody else.
I've definitely watched
because you
part of
can't
one.
fit a full one on.
Yeah, they have to be 10 minutes max. So I put half of it on YouTube and the other half got flagged for copyright. Don't even get me started. I have no fucking idea why it got flagged. I've been fighting that forever. But the first one, literally the first half of it got 700 something views in one day.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, okay, I need to have a TikTok.
Right.
Because apparently this is where it's going.
Yikes.
Yeah.
We're losing the grip with the kiddos.
We are. Can't do that. That's how you get irrelevancy.
That's true. If you
you got a stand-up show coming up as well.
Yes, on October 14th at a place called Noise Town.
Hell yeah, that's my buddy Dustin's place.
Really?
Yeah. Friend of the show, Dustin Howard from the band Groucho.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, he's that's a really cool thing that he's doing over there.
Yeah, and that's getting put on by Jeff Thompson, I think.
Yes.
It's going to have Lacey Rains and Brett Jeffries are also on that show. It's going to be a great night.
Yeah.
Friend of the show, Brett Jeffries.
Yep. Yeah, man, that's exciting. That'll be for the sort of sober bar that Justin's putting on, sort of thing. which is really cool. Dustin also another friend in recovery too, so it makes sense. That,
excellent.
that they've partnered up for that. So that's really cool. Yeah, Noise Town also a really cool thing. If they're doing like music lessons, you can rent space to jam. You got a band that needs a place to practice. They can hook you up. So it's funny. Dustin got interviewed about that space, and he was talking about this old storage unit place that all the bands used to practice at, and that's the place where we came up, man, where we cut our teeth. His band, my band, a bunch of other bands, Tulsa bands back in the early 2000s. It was just off the I-44 in between Garnett and 129th, secure care self-storage. It was great because there was no neighborhoods around. It was all like industrial stuff. And so they would rent those spaces out to bands, and they would let us stay until 2 a.m.
Nice.
You just play as loud as you need.
Yep. It was awesome. We had so much fun out there.
Get your bits in.
Oh, man. Yep. And drinking, partying, drugging.
What?
Yeah.
Musicians?
Totally.
No way.
Yeah. You haven't lived till you've had storage unit sex.
No.
A little breezy.
Yeah. Picks?
Oh, yeah. The pick of anything you've been into lately.
Yes. It's not one that I watched recently, but it's something that it's a movie that I love. It's a movie called Green Room.
Oh, that movie rules.
That movie is so good. I believe Jeremy Sullett is the director. I am so sorry if I got his name wrong. But he also did a great movie called Blue Ruin. He did a movie called Hold the Dark. Both are amazing.
Blue Ruin is amazing.
Blue Ruin is so good. But yes,
you get Patrick Stewart as a baddie,
as a neo-Nazi leader.
Yeah.
And he does really well. Like, it doesn't come off as goofy.
Oh, okay.
Alia Shawkat's in it.
Imogen Poots, the musician, is in it, and she does amazing. The late great Anton Yelchin kills it in the movie.
Yeah.
Without giving too much away, a bunch of punk people, a punk band that desperate for gigs ends up playing a neo-Nazi show by accident, and the show goes well. And then they go into the green room before they're about to leave, and they witness right after a murder happened, and the neo-Nazis hold them hostage inside of the green room. The plot, it's really not that complicated. It's very much a kind of a midnight movie, but it is one of the most well-made midnight movies I've seen.
It is really, really good. I loved it.
Yeah. I've heard about this too. I remember I fell down a rabbit hole about, I think it was when I was looking up some stuff about Anton Yelchin. Because he passed away, right?
Yes.
In a freak accident way. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Which I think not long after he died, I was looking into some of the films he had done that kind of flown under the radar, and this popped up. And of course, you mentioned Patrick Stewart as a villain is not something you see, and just even to imagine that commanding talent.
Man, he eats it up.
He kills it.
He really eats it up playing the villain.
Yeah.
So what I love most about the film is, especially like when people so evil as neo-Nazis, they're usually portrayed as kind of caricatures. They're sinkheiling all over the place, stuff like that. What makes this movie so effective is they're people. They're joking around with each other. They're actually kind of intelligent, and they have their shit together. And it makes them this unbelievable, menacing force. And and also the band
That's a good point.
Also, the band is realistically stupid, which I love. Like most of the, I'm running in the woods and I tripped and stuff like that. They make really dumb decisions in this movie. There's a scene where they go to give away a gun that they need to have that I won't spoil how that ends. But my God, it's you buy every second. It's one of the most well-written, well-acted, fast-paced midnight movies I've seen in a very long time.
Wow, nice. All right.
Yeah.
And, it came out 2015. So 2016, excuse me, for wide release. Very cool.
Dang, it didn't come out a year after it released at Cannes.
Yeah. And
I almost said at Cannes.
At Cannes.
Cannes Ballroom.
Cannes Ballroom Film Festival, where all of Hollywood meets every year.
Hell yeah.
In beautiful Cannes
in
Ballroom.
beautiful sunny Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Cannes Ballroom, Utah. Oh no, wait, that's not Cannes.
Oh no, that's not at all.
Which one's in Utah? There's another film festival in Utah, isn't there?
Tribeca?
Maybe.
No.
Nope, that's New York.
I don't fucking know, man. Why are you asking me this shit?
Sorry, pick some plugs. Focus, Hilton, focus.
Let's see. Plugs. Come see me Friday, September 29th at the Tulsa Spotlight Theater. Tickets are on sale at tulsaspotlighttheater.com. They are $7 in advance, $10 a day of the show. That'll be myself rounding out the show with 4 other comics and hosted by Mr. Evan Hughes. You know him, you love him, you want to squeeze him.
That all tracks.
Come squeeze me, though. I'll let you. He won't.
He will 100% let you. He's
Shut up,
He
man.
would totally let you.
I'm trying to get squoze.
He would hate it if we suggested he would not let you.
Why are you trying to encroach on my squoze?
We're going to get you both squoze, baby.
Encroach on my squoze, band name called it.
Yep. Yeah, I love that. Very excited for that. I'm very excited to work in that theater. Of course, classic Tulsa theater. So that is Friday, September 29th, tulsaspotlighttheater.com. Get your tickets in advance, save a couple bucks. And then picks. Since we did the trailer, man, I'm going to say go listen to Anti-Mask, which is a 1-album side project that Cedric and Omar did. And then go listen to the 3 At the Drive-In albums before Relationship of Command. Listen to those as well. But I will say that if you're going to get a very first just kind of start on it, probably start with Relationship of Command. It's an amazing album, top to bottom.
It's an amazing example of an album that was got big because of how strikingly different it was 20 years ago. And now it is my first album to recommend them to someone because of how similar it is. How it would be the easiest step in.
Yeah.
It's such a
Well,
It's a perfect album.
music
It's really
in time
good.
is awesome.
You've 100% I'm going to be listening to that on my way home.
Nice.
Like you have very much convinced me.
Excellent. And then once you get through that, check out some Mars Volta because that shit's cool too. And also donate to anybody fighting Scientology because fuck those people.
Yeah, where's Shelly, David?
Where the fuck is Shelley?
Where is Shelly, David?
You son of a bitch. Jacob, thanks for coming back.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to go follow A Serious Picture on YouTube and watch all the CSE episodes as they drop. New one September 30th with Little Miss MG. And thanks again for coming by, Hilton.
Yeah, I'm going to probably be back next week, too.
Are you sure?
Considering
Sure about that? You sure about that?
Take it from me.